Okay, P30SK. And the first 100 always starts with the first look. The first look starts with opening the box. So let's open the box on this new pistol. The HK P30 is a long-time proven, effective, and very renowned duty pistol. It's been used around the world by law enforcement and police, and it's only a matter of natural evolution to shrink that thing down and make it a concealed carry size, especially when you consider the enormous market in the United States for concealed carry pistols. Now the P30SK is available in about half a dozen different configurations. I had my mind made up exactly which configuration I wanted, and of course my luck, the one I wanted was the one that's hardest to get, like hen's teeth. So it took me a long time to finally find this pistol in the exact configuration I want. And this configuration is the V1, which is the light LEM with the 3-round magazine, or with the new New York 3-round magazine with the 3 magazines and the night sights. So this is basically top of the line for the P30SK. I say that assuming you like the way it's configured, of course. It's also at the top of the price range. There's basically 2 price ranges. MSRPs range from $719 to $819, and it's either $719 or $819, I believe, is the MSRP on these pistols, depending on the configuration. What makes this pistol special, what makes it the one I wanted, is first and foremost, it has the light LEM trigger. LEM stands for Law Enforcement Modification. What that does is it gives you a lighter, more consistent trigger pull, each and every pull being the exact same, instead of double action, single action, which is the standard configuration for this pistol. The LEM version gives you about, I measured this one at under 5.5 pounds average, but it gives you a light, consistent trigger pull. You don't have that first shot being double action, the rest of them being single action and that type of thing. It's not as big a deal to me as it is to some people. I grew up in the era of the Smith & Wesson Model 39s and so forth, and I'm accustomed to the double action, single action. But if I have a choice, I would much prefer a consistent trigger pull, and in this case you do have a choice. The other thing that makes it different, there is no external safety on this gun. Okay, the more I'll call it standard configuration has a ambidextrous safety. Another thing that's different, there's no decocking button. Again, what I will refer to as standard comes with a decocking button right about there to decock the hammer. So there's no decocking button on this one. This is, from the outside, from a controls perspective, very, very plain. The only control you've got on the outside of this gun is your slide stop and your paddle magazine releases, and that's it. Okay. Also has the True Dot night sights. Good adequate pair of night sights. That rear one is a hefty little thing. So it gives you a good sight radius because it comes all the way back to the back of the slide. Also has a nice little ridge out front in case you need to use that to run that slide against a belt or a boot or tree stump or something like that. Okay, also in the box, in addition to our magazines, is a little magazine loader. I don't typically use these because I use a Uplula mag loader, so I generally don't even bother. But in a pinch, it would work, and it's nice that they include it, I guess. They also include, and this is kind of an HK staple, they include replacement back panels or back straps and side panels. So you can customize the feel and the size of this grip, which is a really nice feature. This one actually comes with the large pre-installed at the factory. You can see just how bulbous that looks down there at the heel. This is the large, and so we can either change that out if we'd like for a medium. It should say medium on it. Yep, there's an M there. Or the small. And I haven't decided. Normally I go right for the small. This one with the large, I can certainly shoot it, but it feels a little big right down here at the very base. So what I may do is try the medium first and see if I like that. You can also mix and match the grip panels. You don't have to go just small grip panels with small back straps or large grip panels with large back straps, etc. You could have the medium backstrap with the small side panels and such. So it really is a bit of a mix and match capability, which does help to get just the grip feel that you want with the pistol. So the basic specs on the P30SK, SK by the way stands for subcompact, compact with a K. It is made in Germany. P30SK specs are the length is 6.42 inches overall. Height 4.57 inches. Width 1.37 inches, and the widest part is definitely going to be on these generous slide stop levers. The barrel is 3.27 inches long. It is a polygonal or polygonal, however you'd like to pronounce that, barrel. Means rather than the hard lands and grooves that you're used to in traditional rifling, this has the soft and smooth polygonal rifling. The weight of this pistol is just about 24 ounces with an empty magazine. Like I say, I measured the trigger at, actually my average of 5 pulls was 5 pounds and 6 ounces, so just under 5.5 pounds, but I'll tell you, this is a nice trigger pull. Let me demonstrate just real quick. Our trigger pull is, look at all that take up, but it's not really take up. If you can see the hammer. Oh yeah, that's another thing. I didn't mention that. The other feature of this particular model is this bobbed hammer. So rather than have a spur, which the standard configuration has, that sticks out, because with double action, single action, you could actually cock that hammer and go to single action mode for your first shot. The LEM takes that option away because you don't need it, so you have a bobbed hammer, which is kind of nice because it keeps it out of the way. There it goes. It's very, very crisp and nice and light. Like I say, 5.5 pounds or just shy of 5.5 pounds. I actually had some of my pulls come in at like under 5 pounds. Reset. Right there. A little bit long on the reset, but you get nice tactile feedback, and then back to our drop. It does, of course, have the HK traditional and European standard paddle style magazine releases. Ambidextrous, of course, one on each side, as with the slide stop slide release. So this is a fully ambidextrous pistol with the few controls that it does have. It is a gorgeous pistol. Let me just do a very quick comparison to a Glock 26, the baby Glock, just to give you an idea what kind of dimensions we're talking about here. It is very, very close in size to the baby Glock. I have the extended magazine with the pinky mag in my Glock, or it would be significantly shorter, but they're very close in size, so that gives you an idea how big this gun is, or how big it's not. Okay, there's the first peek, first look at this pistol. Now let's get it out to the range and put 100 rounds through it. Let's get this thing loaded up and get shooting it. I may not have mentioned already, but a P30 full-size magazine, 15 rounder, or, as is actually the case in this one, the magazine from a VP9, which is the same magazine as the P30, will fit and function just perfectly in the P30SK. Hopefully somebody will make a sleeve for that in the near future. So let's get at least 100 rounds through this thing. And it's nice to have some extra magazines. I'm going to start out with some herders. Good break-in stuff. Consistent, reliable, pretty accurate, and relatively inexpensive. You may have seen a movie, or if you're old, back when people used to read books, you may have read the book called The Lord of the Rings, in which a character named Frodo had a heck of a time trying to get rid of a little ring. Well, that was absolutely nothing compared to what it's been like trying to get a hold of this thing. Man, this thing is like hen's teeth in the LEM, the light LEM version. And even when I found it, it was quite an ordeal before I finally got it. And now I'm going to put the first 100 through it. I've got a whole bunch of mags loaded up. I might as well top off, finish off this box. We'll shoot an entire box of herders without interruption, and we'll be halfway there. Heckler & Koch HK P30SK in light LEM, double action only. Let's get to it. Okay, enough of all the drama and ceremony. Let's shoot this thing. Long magazine, 15 round, P30. Aim point seems to be dead on hold by what I'm seeing. This trigger is sweet. Very light, crisp. Let's say I measured it at less than 5.5 pound average. Heckler & Koch sweetness. The reset is short. There's a little bit of take up after because you're working that hammer, that mainspring. But this is a nice trigger. I'm just at 7 yards, by the way, maybe 8. That was 50 rounds. So we are halfway there. I got a funny feeling I may go past 100 rounds today with this gun. That was the first 50. Okay, the next 50 is going to be Freedom Munitions, 115 grain, full metal jacket. Going to pick a clean spot with a fresh dot. Let's see how this does. Okay, those are a little wilder. Slow down. See if I can place these shots a little better. Well, I tell you what, this is an expensive gun. I mean, not just the purchase price, which is also up there. This is not a cheap gun, but this is an expensive gun because it is fun to shoot, which means you're going to shoot it a lot. The last time I checked, they weren't giving ammo away. This will be the last 10 of 100. So we're at 90 rounds. I'm going to put 10 more through it. But then I think I'm going to have to do a little extra credit work here. Bring my score up. That was the first 100 rounds, and boy, that went fast. That went maybe faster than any first 100 I've ever done. But I don't think I'm going to allow myself to stop. I think I'm going to keep shooting this thing even more today. This is probably going to wind up being the first 200 or more. This is a sweet, sweet little shooter. You know, I wanted to, as soon as I heard about this gun, I wanted to get my hands on it, and I am not disappointed so far after 100 rounds. It is a pleasure to shoot. It's a small double stack, 9mm of course. I know some people really don't like the dangling pinky thing, but you know, honestly, I shoot so many small guns that I'm used to this being my grip, and I don't mind that a bit. I also don't mind, well, I don't have any with me. I also don't mind that it will take a full-sized P30 or VP9 magazine, so you can get that 15-round magazine in there, and hopefully, X-Grips, I'm talking to you, hopefully somebody will make a sleeve to make that a really good extended magazine. The sight picture is extremely good on this. It's got a 3-dot combat sight. This has the night sights, so they are tritium and they will glow in the dark on their own power. It's a great 3-dot sight picture, and it's pretty much point of aim. So not really a 6 o'clock hold or anything with this gun, pretty much point of aim. It has all the features that we come to love and expect from an HK, and if there's features we don't love, then it probably has those too. But the trigger, because this is the light LEM, this is a double action only trigger. All right, so there's no double single as is common on the standard version of this pistol. That gives you about a 5.5 or less pound pull right from the start. First pull, last pull, and everything in between. And it is a nice trigger. The reset is fairly short, and there's a little bit of take up again after that reset, and that's, again, because you're working that mainspring, you're having to bring that hammer back again and drop it. But you really don't feel it, you know. I think when I start doing maybe some extracurricular rounds here, I'm going to open this thing up a little bit. I'm going to not care so much what it looks like here. I'm going to see how quick I can get rounds out of this gun and still control the trigger without slapping at it. By the way, there will be a full review on this gun coming in the not too distant future. That's going to be on Guns America, so keep your eyes peeled for that. This has been the first 100. I think I'm going to have to do maybe 100 more. So I'll say goodbye to you. I'm going to go play.